From dangerous household items to unbelievable smuggling, stay tuned to number 1 to find out the weirdest things ever found in a human body. Number 10. Twin fetus. Now, on the surface, this doesn't seem like too odd of a thing. You know how it is sometimes. A woman gets pregnant and things don't work out, and the baby has to be removed from within her. However, when this happens to a man, yeah, things get weird. And yes, this is a real thing, and it actually is more common than you think. Not a 1 in 10 kind of common, but still. There's been about 90 recorded cases of this happening to a male. But the question is, what happened? Well, this particular case I'm speaking of happened to Sanju Bhagat, who since an early age had an enormously large stomach, one that he and his family couldn't explain. Eventually, he went to the doctor and found that almost a fully formed fetus was within him. This process is called Fetus In Fetu. What that means is that when Sanju was conceived, he had a twin, but that twin got absorbed into him. Believe it or not, this happens a lot, and the twin ceases to exist. But in these cases, they stay kind of alive via the new host, and actually feed off of them, which is why it was very fully formed, though not technically alive. Doctors removed the fetus from Sanju, and needless to say, they were pretty surprised at what they were looking at. Number 9. Live frogs. The world is a wondrous place full of many people, and those different cultures of people often have unique ways to do things, or eat things. Enter Yang Dinkai, who had a belief that eating live animals was a good way to get rid of certain ailments. On the surface, this sounds crazy, but there's a twist. He's been doing this for 40 years. He's very healthy too. So people started to join him in this unique eating habit. So one day, a man named Zhang Musheng came to him for some advice on how to cure his stomach pain, and Yang gave him instructions to eat a live frog. Again, this had clearly worked for Yang, so why not recommend it? Well, Zhang ate the live frog, but the pain didn't end. So Zhang went to the hospital, where the doctors took a scan of his stomach, and to their surprise, the frog was still alive and hopping around inside his stomach. How did the frog survive? This is unclear, but it was there, alive and hopping, and it makes you wonder even more how Yang has survived for 40 years. Number 8. Medical instruments. Before we talk about this all too common occurrence, take a moment to like this video and join the Zero to Hero community by using the buttons below. There are a lot of reasons to go to a hospital, for routine checkups, for emergencies, for surgeries, and even just to get the flu shot. But when you go in, you expect that nothing from whatever you've done is now left inside your body without your permission or knowledge. And yet, there have been numerous cases of various types of medical instruments being left inside human bodies. To be fair to the doctors and nurses, this is a rare occurrence, but it happens more than the male fetus incident. For example, a woman being left with 10-inch tweezers in her stomach happened one time. Another case saw a man being left with a foot-long medical instrument that caused several medical issues before it was discovered inside of him. So he had to go back into the hospital to fix what the hospital did to him. This was even featured on Ripley's Believe It or Not once. Is this excusable? Not really. Doctors and surgeons may have to do a lot of drastic work, and I would excuse a small item being left in the body, but 10-inch tweezers? A foot-long instrument? How does that get left behind? That's what makes it so unbelievable. Number 7. A firearm. Sometimes I can't believe how insane people can be, and when it comes to a young woman named Dallas Archer, she definitely tops the charts. Here's the story. She committed a crime when she was 21, and as a result was headed to prison. Okay, prison is a dangerous place, and knowing that you'll be protected is a fine thing to think about. But she took it a little farther. For she got the bright idea that she should smuggle a firearm into the prison. Dallas couldn't trust the usual means of smuggling though, so she decided to shove the gun into her lady parts. No joke. She did it and walked right into the prison with a firearm there. Here's the problem though. If you've watched TV about prison life, you'll know that they go to extreme lengths to ensure that no contraband is brought in. Thus, the item was indeed discovered. And what could have been a light sentence turned into a much longer one. For now, she was not only charged with her original crime, but also with bringing in contraband and having possession of a loaded firearm. Not the brightest bulb in the box, clearly. Number 6. Mailorder. While Dallas is definitely incredibly crazy for doing this act of smuggling, she is hardly the only person to ever conceive of the notion. In fact, there was a guy who decided to sneak in 30 different items into a prison as he was going in. What did he bring in? Well, 17 narcotic pills, 1 cigarette, 6 matches, 1 flint, 1 empty syringe with an eraser over the needle tip, 1 lip balm container, 1 prophylactic, 1 CVS receipt, and a coupon. Why would you need such things in a prison? You'd need to ask him that. But here's the rub. Remember the prophylactic? All of the items were inside of that item. Insert joke here. More than likely, the man was just trying to make sure he was taken care of in regards to his basic life necessities. Also, in prison, contraband like that is currency, so maybe he thought he could use it to get a leg up on things. What's that? Where did he put the prophylactic full of items? I'll let you consider that question yourself. Number 5. Live grenade. When you go to war, you always risk having something penetrating your body. Usually it's a bullet or shrapnel, but in one case, it was so much worse than that. This happened while on patrol in Afghanistan. Private Channing Moss and his fellow troops came under attack by the enemy. In the firefight, a grenade launcher was fired upon the men. The grenade that was shot found its way inside of Private Moss. But the grenade did not explode. It was inside of him, but it didn't go off. Having to take care of the enemy first, the troop took out the targets, then they rushed Private Moss to an army hospital where the grenade was carefully removed without incident. The number of things that could have gone wrong here is infinite, and only the slimmest of chances could have saved his life, and yet, that's exactly what happened. Number 4. Wendys Fork. This is a tale of John Manley, who had been sick for 2 years with no clear explanation as to why it was happening to him. What's worse, his sickness was so bad that he was coughing up blood and a case of pneumonia that wouldn't go away. He went to doctor after doctor and then went to specialists, but they couldn't figure out what was wrong. Eventually, John found a doctor that wanted to stick a camera down his throat, which is a common thing nowadays, and figure out what was wrong. When he did, he saw something he did not expect. A Wendy's logo. You know, like the hamburger chain? Upon opening John up and getting the item out, it was revealed that John had somehow swallowed a broken part of a Wendy's fork. How this happened is a mystery even to John, but somehow it got mixed up in his food and he didn't even feel it going down him, which is quite a feat when you think about it. You can bet though that he's going to be checking his food a lot more closely now. Number 3. Hair. Your hair is a beautiful part of your body, and whether it's on your head, chest, arms, legs, or even your feet, you should take care of it. But what happens when that hair becomes something found inside of your body? This happened to a young 18-year-old girl with stomach pains. She was in so much pain that her body was starting to lose weight heavily and have other issues. Doctors scanned her and discovered a massive oddity in her stomach, so she was rushed to surgery where they found what could only be described as a 10-pound hairball. One that was shaped like her stomach. Before you call her a freak, please understand one thing. This woman suffers from a condition called trichophagia, which is a disease that makes it palatable to eat one's own hair. So over the course of many years, she did just that. She would eat her hair, little by little, all the while it stuck in her stomach until it became the world's biggest hairball. Number 2. Plain. I'm sure this one will be hard to believe, but it's true. There was a Frenchman named Michael Lotito, and he had a gift, let's call it, mainly because of his unusually strong stomach and intestine, which were double the normal size in terms of the lining that fills them. He could eat just about anything, and when he learned this, he would go and do all sorts of odd eating acts. The most unbelievable, though, was that over the course of 2 years, he ate an entire Cessna 150 plane, piece by piece, for 2 years, and he never got sick, and he never had to go to the hospital for it. Some people are just born, well, you know. Number 1. A cutlery set. After everything you've seen and heard, you no doubt are wondering what could top everything else on this list. Well, allow me to introduce you to Margaret Dahlman, who has the honor of being here for a unique thing found within her. She went to the hospital like anyone else would when she started getting serious pains. Upon getting an x-ray, doctors found that there was an odd mass within her. However, they couldn't describe what it was, as the shape was just too weird. She was operated on immediately, and what they found was an entire 78-piece cutlery set within her. 78 pieces of cutlery were inside of her, all in one bunch. How in the world could this happen? Well, some speculate that she suffered from a very rare disease called pica. This affects pregnant women who are known for their cravings. However, this disease makes them crave non-edible items. This disease is well documented, and women can eat metal, dirt, and all sorts of items depending on what their minds think sound tasty. While the whys and hows aren't answered, she at least has it out of her now, and hopefully this doesn't happen to her again. What did you think was the weirdest item on this list? Let us know in the comments below, and take care.